Welcome to the Thursday episode of DB2. Going back to the quick hits, talking one player and kind of what we think about him. David Brem here with Danny Butler, as always. Butler, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us in this TED Talk today. We are going over the Denver Broncos wide receiver core. Some surprises here, and the name is the surprise because he was undrafted, I would say, in pretty much
I
every
think that's
league.
fair.
I think they had like the ADP of like 118 or something like that. So Tim Patrick. Now, Timothy here had 3 catches for 42 yards and a touchdown. That's fine. I mean, end up wide receiver 23, but the touchdown obviously saves that, making him a solid option. Week 5, he was wide receiver 20, so that's back-to-back weeks. But not just that. Week 4, I know wasn't great. Week 3, he was wide receiver 24. So in the last 4 weeks, 3 of the 4, he was top 25. So a wide receiver that's been solid. I think anybody would, say that that's pretty solid for a wide receiver that was undrafted. Currently, wide receiver 37. So here's what I'm going to throw at you. All right, why I think Tim Patrick is an interesting play with Jerry Jeudy sidelined. Now with Jerry Jeudy in, he becomes a much deeper league ad or deeper league play. You may already own him, but deeper league play. If you are in a crunch, you may be playing him. But in week 1, he played 70% of the snaps. That was with Jerry Jeudy out there. I know he got injured, but Jerry Jeudy played like 40% or something, 36% something. Nope, 47%. So he still played 70% in week 1. So with Jerry Jeudy in there for half the game, he's played a good amount. They play a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. Tim Patrick in week 2, 74, 76 in week 3, 92%. So now we see a trend up here, 92% in week 4, 95% in week 5, 89% in week 6. So he's obviously on the field pretty much every single play. I think Teddy's solid. I think he's a solid quarterback. And we see it with Courtland Sutton, who has been great the last couple weeks, that actually both him and Patrick, both top 25 wide receivers, obviously Sutton even top 10, but Teddy has been solid. He threw for 334 yards and 3 touchdowns in week 6. So I'm just looking at that. Obviously, Noah Fant as well, taking out some of that. I'm looking at that and I'm like, that's pretty solid. I feel like he's a name that nobody talks about. He's not even on anybody's radar on, pickups. I haven't really seen people talking about him. So I wanted to bring him up. And I now will go ahead and volley it over to you and see what you have to say.
Well, I mean, you kind of made my argument for me, and that argument is Jerry Jeudy. Like you said, when he's out, he's not going to be out that much longer, if at all, anymore. Kind of up in the air for this week. I think this week we still agree, and we talked about in our main show. Even if he's in there, we don't expect huge things from Jeudy this week. And if you look at, yes, in the first week when Jeudy was out there, Patrick still had a decent day, but Sutton did nothing in week 1. Sutton has clearly cemented himself as having a role on this team. And I just think once Jeudy comes back, I think Patrick's a decent play this week, but I think once Jeudy comes back, it's going to be Jeudy, Sutton, and Fant, and I don't see room for a 4th option on that team.
And I say that is a solid argument that I mostly made, but you followed.
I can't help it if you.
I took basically all the talking points.
You can't take both sides of the argument and then decide that.
And then just say you copied your homework off of me. But here's the thing: if
never did that in high school.
If Jeudy is out, Jeudy is in there. Sorry, if Judy's in there, Sutton, you have Noah Fant. Yeah, he is the 4th guy. So it's tough to imagine a Teddy Bridgewater-led offense, and that's not even a slight on him. Very few offenses can sustain 3 wide receivers. We've talked about this a lot. There's very few. Even offenses that we really like, the Rams, one of the best offenses, they have 2 guys that even the one is basically taking all of it. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, you're probably starting, and then Van Jefferson, who's had a week or 2 that's been solid, but outside of that, it's not really been relevant. So, in Deshaun Jackson, and
you throw in a tight end into that mix who's very relevant it makes it even harder.
Yeah, so obviously, if Teddy's going to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every week, yeah, you're like, okay, I'll take my chances. But that's probably not going to happen. But I will say this, if with Cortland Sutton, if anything with injuries or Jerry Jeudy doesn't come back healthy, or just this upcoming week, even if it's just for a week, he has shown that they like him enough to put him on. They trust him more than anybody else besides Sutton, so he is the
Mm-hmm.
guy. And obviously, I mean, Bridgewater is looking his way a decent amount. It's definitely the Fant and the Sutton show, and I'm a Sutton owner, so I like that. But I think if Jeudy doesn't come back right away, we'll see. I think he's a pretty interesting play.
I agree
And
with that.
if Jeudy does come back, if it's a deep bench, if you're kind of nervous about your wide receivers, it's somebody who is at least on the field. And I know that's a very small, it's like, well, they at least.
So is the left tackle. He's also on the field. Should I own him?
At least he's on the field and he's running routes. So will Teddy Bridgewater look his way much? I don't know. Jerry Jeudy's very good. Cortland Sutton looks to be very good. So I like them both. But I'm just saying, Tim Patrick, he's been good 3 of the last 4 weeks. He sees the field pretty much every snap. I like that. We'll see. I do want to wait and see what happens when Jeudy does come back. There's a chance that he's still relevant in a fantasy capacity, like some sort of, but a very deep league, like a bench maybe, and you play him in a bye week because he's on the field. If Jeudy doesn't come back right away, I think even in a small 12-team league, he's could be an option that will be available in your league.
Yeah, I don't agree with the last part. With Jeudy out, I think he's very relevant. So hopefully that helped. A name you probably haven't thought about. Maybe you're kind of in a spot this week and need to throw a wide receiver in there. Maybe a guy you want to play or a guy you want to pick up for your bench because you've got somebody sitting there you're never going to play. So hopefully that helped you out. We appreciate you stopping by. 5 days a week. We're here. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't. And leave us a comment. We love to hear from you. And I think that's going to do it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, do all that. That really does help us out. We appreciate it. And come back tomorrow and all the days, Tuesday through Saturdays. Come back every day. You can come back and watch old videos. We appreciate that too. Just let it go on repeat. That all helps. All that watch time, just let it go. But thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Peace.
See ya.